Chapter 17. Whispers. A man with dark skin and royal blue robes embroidered with ornate yellow patterns stretched as he began his day. A bright yellow turban sat on his head, matching the colors of his clothing. He lifted the canopy of his cart in the center of the Marrakech City Magic Market, where rows of glass jars lined his display. Inside were preserved curiosities, eyeballs, lizard tails, and one long shape that looked disturbingly like a dragon's tongue. In Kyoto, a woman in her 60s strolled through a narrow alleyway crowded with street food vendors and potion carts. Witches and wizards moved past her in the busy market, while to one side she could see a river running behind the shops and inns. Cherry blossoms lined the bank. She closed her eyes and breathed in deeply, taking in the calm of the morning. In New York City, a young man crossed the Bow Bridge in Central Park, while muggles walked dogs and sat on benches nearby. Halfway across, he raised his wand and waved it at empty air. A door appeared in the middle of the bridge. The muggles kept walking, oblivious. The young man stepped through. On the other side, the bridge opened into a magical market stretching toward the Cherry Hill Fountain. Carts and vendors filled the space, selling all manner of enchanted goods. Goblins and wizards did business openly, fires cooked meals, and banners moved in the wind. Not a muggle was in sight. Back in Marrakech, the man in the yellow turban took a deep breath of saffron, cumin, and all the rich scents of the market. He made a small gesture with his fingers, almost like a snap, and the bottles filled with centipedes arranged themselves neatly in a basket. He seemed ready for another ordinary day. Then he suddenly choked. A faint purple mist was spreading along the ground. He inhaled again, and this time panic hit him. He tried to apparat away and stayed exactly where he was. He tried again. Nothing. In Kyoto, the older woman spotted the same purple mist creeping into the market from a side alley. She raised her wand to blow it back with a wind charm, but the spell failed. She tried once more. Nothing. The mist reached her. In New York, the young man had crossed to a booth selling pasties, tarts, and other baked goods. He wasn't there for food. Every Thursday, he came to see the young witch behind the counter. As he approached, she smiled at him. He smiled back, then saw the purple mist rising from behind the booth. Her smile faded, and her eyes drifted into a blank stare. Then she stopped responding altogether. Gawain Robard stood at the front of a room filled with about 20 Aurors, including Harry and Ron. Reports from magical law enforcement agencies in Japan, New York, and Morocco were spread before him. It's the same pattern, Gawain said. Same effects, same memory loss, same magical loss. I don't see how he could be moving around the world and still working a steady job in the potions lab. He's getting help, one Auror said. It's a copycat, said another. Harry shook his head. I don't think we should underestimate Mr. Rook. He's smarter than we think. Ron glanced at him. And that's saying something. Gawain gave a thin smile. Yes, well, that's why I've already sent Dawlish and Proudfoot to bring Mr. Rook downstairs to answer a few questions. He looked down at the reports again, then frowned. Dozens of witches and wizards were affected. They experienced total magical loss. The room fell silent. Law enforcement leaders from around the world want answers, Gawain continued. They want to know exactly where Tobias Rook is and what he's doing. This has become a global threat, and the panic is spreading. He looked directly at Harry and Ron. I'm sending 2 Aurors to join a joint international task force in Geneva tomorrow morning. This was your case from the start. The portkey is ready. Harry nodded once. Ron shrugged. Just then, Dawlish and Proudfoot entered the dispatch room. Rook is in interrogation room B, Dawlish said. Potter. Weasley? Room B, Gawain said. The Aurors began to file out, and Harry, Ron, and Gawain went straight to the interrogation room. Inside was a plain wooden table and 3 chairs beneath a single hanging light. Tobias sat in one of the chairs with his hands folded on the table. He looked quiet, but not calm. Good morning, Tobias, Gawain said. Tobias's head snapped up. I saw the prophet already. It wasn't me. Relax, Ron said, taking a seat. We just have some questions. Tobias leaned back a little, though the tension stayed in his shoulders. Harry folded his arms. Tobias, you have to understand how this looks. Same mist, same effects. Our hands are tied. The whole world is watching now, and they want the truth. I didn't do it, Tobias said. I couldn't have. I'm a squib. Gawain's tone sharpened. Is someone helping you? A witch or wizard? No, Tobias said quickly. I don't even know many witches or wizards that well, except Miss Granger. Harry stepped in. There could be sympathizers who heard about Diagon Alley and your story. Or you could have given someone the potion ingredients, or told them how to make it. Tobias drew in a slow breath. I don't have the means or ability to do this. I haven't shared the potion ingredients with anyone. I don't know who did this, or how. Harry began. Tobias, you must understand. I'm the #1 suspect, Tobias said. Yes, I understand. Harry held his gaze. Then what? I'll cooperate, Tobias said. Whatever you need. I want this figured out. I'm not that man anymore. Gawain's expression remained hard. You'll be detained and held until this investigation is concluded, as per the stipulation of your sentence. Tobias lowered his eyes and gave a small, defeated nod. A moment later, Hermione stepped into the Auror's office and motioned for Ron to come out of the interrogation room. He followed her into the hall. I really don't think it's Tobias, Hermione said immediately. How could it be? He's smart, but these attacks are spread across the globe. He'd need help from a wizard. Who would help with something like that? He's changed. The potions lab likes him. He knows what he did was wrong. Ron crossed his arms. He's cooperating completely. It sounds like he didn't do it, but he's being held here until we sort out what's going on. He hesitated, then added, "Oh, I almost forgot. Harry and I are joining a task force in Geneva to investigate the attacks." Hermione's expression shifted, surprise first, then concern. "Oh, that's great. How long will you be gone?" "Hard to say," Ron admitted. "Until we solve the case, I suppose." Hermione glanced back toward the office, then lowered her voice. "There was a lot of the powder left behind in Diagon Alley. Maybe some of it didn't get removed by the cleaning spells. Maybe someone bottled it. Maybe someone copied it." Ron looked unconvinced. "And you want us to let him help with it?" "I need him to help figure out an antidote," Hermione said. "If we can restore magical ability to the people affected, we'll need his insight." Ron frowned. "He needs to stay in holding." "He can help," Hermione said. "He helped the last time." "It was his fault last time," Ron shot back. Dawlish and Proudfoot escorted Tobias out of the interrogation room, with Gawain and Harry following behind them. As Tobias passed Hermione, he looked at her and spoke quietly. "It wasn't me, Hermione." "I know," she said. "We'll figure it out. Harry and Ron will find out who's behind the attacks." Tobias stopped beside her, his face tight with shame. "This is what I get. I did this to myself. I deserve this." Hermione took his hand. "You've changed. This version of you doesn't deserve this. So let's fight it." Dawlish touched her shoulder lightly, a reminder not to get too close to the prisoner, and kept moving toward the holding cells. Hermione turned to Gawain. "We still need him in the lab if we're going to figure out an antidote. Especially now that witches and wizards are being affected. We need him more than ever. Give him a chance to redeem himself. He wants to help." Gawain studied her for a moment. "It's a massive risk, Hermione. If he's playing us and you're wrong, we're handing him exactly what he needs." "And if I'm right?" Hermione asked. "He's our only shot at neutralizing the mist." Gawain exhaled through his nose. "Very well. He'll be allowed to move between his holding cell and the potions lab under strict Auror escort. But make no mistake, while he is in that lab, his security is your responsibility." Hermione nodded firmly. "Thank you, sir. We won't let you down."